At 11:42 p.m., the first text came through. Unknown number. No name. No contact photo. Just 6 words. Don't open the basement door tomorrow. That was it. No explanation. No context. Just a warning. The strange part? I hadn't planned to open the basement door. Nobody had. At least, not that I knew of. The next morning, he arrived at school and forgot about the message. Until lunch, another text appeared. The missing pirate sword is behind curtain C. He stared at the screen. The school theater had been looking for that prop all week. Nobody could find it. A few minutes later, backstage, one of the drama teachers pulled back curtain C. The sword was there, exactly where the text said it would be. The teacher looked relieved. He felt cold, because nobody should have known that, especially not before it happened. He blocked the number. An hour later, another text arrived from a different number. You can block me. It won't help. He laughed nervously, then deleted it. But the messages kept coming. Small things at first. Things that seemed impossible. Mr. Benson will say, "We're already behind schedule." 10 minutes later, Mr. Benson walked into rehearsal. Guys, we're already behind schedule. Word for word. The text arrived first. Every time. Always a few minutes before. Never wrong. Never late. And then came the fire drill. At 2:17 p.m., his phone buzzed. Fire alarm in 60 seconds. He checked the hallway. Everything was normal. Students were talking. Teachers were walking around. Nothing unusual. Then, the alarm exploded through the building. Exactly 60 seconds later. At that point, he stopped trying to explain it, because explanations were running out, and the messages were getting stranger. That night, another text arrived. No greeting, no build-up, just a warning. Do not look through the basement window. His stomach tightened. The basement. Everybody knew about it. The theater storage area sat below the school. Old props, broken furniture, boxes of costumes. Years earlier, part of it had supposedly flooded. After that, access became restricted. Most students never went near it. He stared at the message, then typed back. Why? The reply came instantly. Because it will see you. He waited. No second message followed. Nothing else. Just silence. The next day, he tried to ignore it. For almost 6 hours, he succeeded. Then, rehearsal ended. The hallway emptied. And curiosity won. The basement door sat near the backstage corridor. Heavy metal. Paint peeling around the edges. At eye level was a tiny reinforced window. No larger than a postcard. He approached slowly. Phone flashlight on. The room beyond looked empty. Rows of shelves. Stacks of boxes. Nothing moving. Nothing unusual. He almost laughed. Then he noticed something. Not inside the room. In the reflection. On the glass. Someone was standing beside him. Close enough to touch. His heart stopped. He spun around. The hallway was empty. Nobody there. Not a single person. When he looked back at the window, the reflection was gone. He ran. Didn't stop until he reached the parking lot. That night, he barely slept. The next morning, he requested security footage. His uncle worked maintenance and helped him get access. They reviewed the hallway camera, minute by minute, frame by frame. The footage showed him standing at the basement window, alone, completely alone. Nobody approached. Nobody appeared. Nobody stood beside him. His chest loosened. Maybe he'd imagined it. Then he remembered something. The photo. When he'd looked through the window, he'd taken a picture. Just one. His hands shook as he opened it. The basement shelves were visible. The boxes were visible. And reflected beside him, a person, standing inches away, watching him. The security footage showed nobody. The photo showed somebody. Neither made sense. The texts became more frequent after that. Almost desperate. Sometimes 3 or 4 per hour. Then one arrived that changed everything. I've been trapped down here for months. He stared at it. Read it again and again. Months? The basement wasn't even open. Who could be trapped there? He replied immediately. Who are you? Several minutes passed. Then an image appeared. A photo. Dark. Blurry. Concrete walls. A narrow tunnel. At the bottom was a timestamp. A date. His breath caught. The date was 6 weeks in the future. He checked it repeatedly. The numbers never changed. Future date. Future photo. Impossible. More images followed. Each one from somewhere underground. Each carrying dates that hadn't happened yet. Future dates. Future locations. Future photographs. And every message ended the same way. Don't come down here. The contradiction bothered him. If the sender needed help, why keep warning him away? Days passed. Then came the final message. The shortest one yet. Tonight, nothing else. Just at 11:30 p.m., he returned to school. The theater entrance had been left unlocked after an event. The halls were silent, dark, empty. His flashlight trembled in his hand. The basement door waited at the end of the corridor, exactly where it always had. Another vibration, another text. Please leave. He ignored it. For the first time, the key hung in the maintenance office, exactly where he'd been told it would be. A few minutes later, he stood in front of the basement door, phone in one hand, key in the other. The lock clicked. The door opened. Cold air rolled out. Not musty. Not damp. Cold. Like air from somewhere deeper. Far deeper. He stepped inside. Rows of shelves stretched through darkness. Everything looked normal. For about 10 seconds. Then his phone buzzed. One new message. 3 words. Turn around. He froze. Slowly, he turned. Nobody there. But something else caught his attention. A gap behind one of the storage racks. A space leading into the wall. Hidden. Almost invisible. Another vibration. Photo attachment. He opened it. His blood ran cold. The image showed the exact storage room, the exact shelf, the exact hidden opening, and the photo had been taken from inside the tunnel, as if someone were watching him right now. He stepped through the opening. The tunnel beyond wasn't on any school map. Concrete walls, rusty pipes, endless darkness. He walked for what felt like 15 minutes, then stopped, because he reached a familiar door. The basement door. The same one he'd entered through. Impossible. He looked behind him. The tunnel continued. Ahead. The basement door. Behind. More tunnel. As if the space folded back into itself. Looping. Repeating. Breaking every rule it should follow. His phone vibrated again. Now you understand. His breathing grew faster. His fingers shook. And finally, he asked the question, "Who are you?" The reply arrived immediately. A single photograph. A man standing in darkness, holding a phone. The image was blurry, but not blurry enough because the face was his own. The sender wasn't a stranger, wasn't a ghost, wasn't some hidden student. The sender was him, a future version, somehow trapped inside the tunnels, trying to stop himself from entering, trying to break the loop. The next messages arrived rapidly. Dozens, one after another. Photos, warnings, maps, dead ends, concrete corridors, dates months ahead. Then, suddenly, nothing. The messages stopped forever. Search teams later explored the basement. They found the hidden tunnel, but only the first section. The deeper passages were gone, as if they had never existed. No sign of him, no body, no evidence, nothing. Weeks passed. The school returned to normal. People forgot. Life moved on. Then, one night, a final text arrived. Same unknown number, same empty contact, only 7 words. I made it deeper, don't follow. Attached was a photograph. Dark, grainy, taken somewhere underground. The image showed another metal door, older than the first one, covered in rust, and painted across its surface were 4 words. Sub-basement level 2. The message ended there. No explanation, no second photo, no follow-up, and the number disconnected forever. But if you zoom into the image, past the door, past the darkness, deep in the reflection of the metal, there's someone standing behind the camera, waiting, as if they've been expecting the next person to arrive.